Welcome back, guys, to Everything Goes, another podcast here with T and K. We have a lot to talk about. The Sixers had a good opener, but they struggle at the end. But we have a lot of baseball to talk about, a lot of basketball. So we're gonna get into it. So let's do it.
That Gary Sanchez.
Yeah, we are. Let's do it.
It's Elliott! It's picked off! It's picked off! It's Tracy Porter!
All right, so the Sixers opener. That was fun to watch.
Yeah, it really was. It was fun to watch. New faces, new players. You don't know what to expect. They don't have a lot of time together, and it turned out really well.
I was excited. Harris drained his first three, not his first three, but when he drained his first three with the Sixers, that crowd went crazy. It was amazing to see all the talent on the team. One thing I did predict, though, is the bench. Me and you were just talking about that. 20 points put up on the bench, and that's crucial. You need some points coming off the bench.
Yeah, but Denver only scored 24 points on their bench. You're not going to get guys on your bench that are going to score 20 points a night and just sitting there. First of all, they're not getting enough minutes to score that much. If you look at the overall minutes, the top five, they dominate the minutes of the game.
Oh,
Harris,
I know that.
Embiid, 33. 34 for Simmons. I mean, these guys on the bench are only getting it 5, 6, 7, 8 minutes, 12 minutes.
They're all getting over 10 minutes. But 20 points total by the bench. You need some help there. When these guys are out, you can't rely on just the starting five. You're going to need some help.
The average on our bench for minutes is about 15 minutes of those players, and there's only one ball. And with that, you're still playing with starters, so they're going to dominate the play. They're just role players. They're there. That's why there's an award for the sixth-man award. It's for the best guy on their bench. And
yeah, but we don't have that sixth man on our bench.
It doesn't matter. You look at your starters are going to get the job done. That's who's going to be playing when it comes playoff time. That's who's going to be playing at crunch time. These guys just come off the bench when Embiid needs a break or when Simmons needs a break.
Speaking of Embiid, I love Embiid. I love Embiid. What he put up 15 points. He needs to pass the ball a little more. He gets under the hoop. We don't even pass it one time. You wouldn't watch a good team that passes the ball, Golden State. All that talent there, and they pass it maybe 10 times before they shoot. Embiid won't pass. He'll go under there and miss half the time.
And not to mention last night, he was feeling sick. He shot 4-17 from the field. And those times where he had double teams on him, and he just forced stuff.
You had Harris open on three. You got to pass that out. You got to pass it out. You could definitely tell there was a big atmosphere there. Harris there. It was awesome to be a Sixers fan last night. JJ Redick put 34 points. There's some of the shots. Jimmy Butler had 22 points. Me and you sat here together and just thought, if Butler doesn't get a lot of time, that could be a conflict, but it worked out.
In the beginning, though, it looked like Butler was like the odd man out. But
Butler got more minutes than anybody. He got 36 minutes, so good for him.
Yeah, but he shot 4 of 9 from the field, and he was 14 of 14 from the foul line,
which is pretty good. He had 22 points. You couldn't ask for. They struggled. Not struggled. You definitely said the chemistry's not there yet. Halfway through the game, it didn't look too good, and then they pulled out a win against a good team, and that's all that matters at the end.
Yeah, absolutely. They played great, and it's only going to get better, and we'll see what happens. It's a short run now to the playoffs, so we'll see exactly what this team can do.
Moving on from the Sixers, Anthony Davis played his first game back with the Pelicans yesterday, and with the 16,000 fans that were there, he got a mix of boos and cheers, which that's what people expected when you recommended a trade. They beat the Pelicans. Not the Pelicans, they are the Pelicans. They beat the Timberwolves 122-117. Yeah.
He got booed at home, which is horrible. It's a bad situation for him, and I feel bad. But
I don't feel bad. He went out.
It's a part of the game, yeah. But you're seeing that everywhere now. You're seeing these. It doesn't matter if it's NBA, NFL, baseball, whatever. These guys aren't playing their contracts out. They want extensions.
Not at all.
That's aggravating when you have guys that are in a 5-year deal and 2 years in, they want an extension, or they're going to sit out. Yeah. It's aggravating. It really
his first game back, scoring 32 points, 9 rebounds in 25 minutes. That's actually, pretty impressive. Only playing 25 minutes, he scored 32 points.
You never saw this stuff way back in like the 90s and stuff. You saw guys who were playing their contracts out. When it came to the time where they wanted to get more money, that's when they played the market. But you never saw guys opting out of their contracts or doing all this nonsense.
No, I always had these talks with people. These guys want $300 million, and it makes no sense. No one deserves it. At the end of the day, it's a sport. I understand you put a lot of work in for this game. You work your whole life to get there. But like when people sit out, it kind of bugs me. Like I understand certain situations. There's certain situations where you can sit out, but if you get a contract offer for like maybe 3 years, $70 million, and then you want to sit out because you want more, that's a little ridiculous, And I would take $70 million. I mean, obviously they might live a different lifestyle than me, but it gets to a point where, I mean, you kidding me? Like there's just certain times it's stupid to watch.
And then that contracts that brings us to like baseball with Harper and Machado both saying that they're waiting for that $300 million deal,
which is ridiculous. Nobody deserves that.
It came out today that the Yankees offered Machado either a 7 or 8 year deal for $220 million, and that's not change. That's good money.
And as a player, if someone offered you $220 million for a 7 to 8 year contract,
I mean, if it's a 7-year deal, that's $31 million a year.
And like, who in their right mind wouldn't take that? I mean, what more are you going to get? No one else is going to give you more than that. The White Sox already said that they're not giving any more than their $120 million they offered, something like that. They said they're not giving any more than that. It just gets to a point where it shouldn't be that much. Bryce Harper met with the Giants. They both have mutual agreements to me, and there's a lot going over there. Buster Posey wants them to sign him. He was all for it. Said yeah, sign him up, and that could be a huge improvement too if he heads over there.
And back to basketball for a minute. LeBron James, they did a draft for the AllStar picks, and they did their first actual trade in an AllStar selection. It's pretty cool. Simmons got traded, and he's going to be playing with LeBron. And LeBron's first pick was Anthony Davis.
Now, is Embiid playing with Simmons, or are they in different teams?
They're on different teams, which is cool about the All-Star game because they're actually letting them – they have a draft where they could pick from anywhere in the NBA. They could pick their team. The interesting thing is if you look at the starting lineup for LeBron's team, there's not one center on the field. It's going to be Embiid, the big
Simmons
man.
could play as a center.
He's going to be the big man on the East, and the other team's going to have like all forwards and guards. It's going to be interesting.
I mean, the All-Star game is always boring, in my opinion, because you never see defense. It's more like they just kind of let each other dunk and shoot threes.
Yeah, but of all the sports, I think baseball and basketball, they have the best All-Star game.
Absolutely, because football, nobody even tackles.
Yeah.
You're not even allowed to tackle.
Hockey's not bad. I mean, I don't follow it enough to really judge it. I mean, they
do a lot of cool things.
They have
hockey,
multiple games that go on during that whole setup, and they have their skills competition, which is always cool, but I've never really followed the hockey All-Star game, but basketball, I love the three-point shootout. The dunk contest, it's not like it was when I watched it with Jordan and all them. And
it's still cool to watch, but it's different. It's definitely. I mean, you run out of tricks after a while.
Yeah, and it's just the setup's a little bit different and weird. But as far as the All-Star game goes, I mean, it's going to be a showcase. It's going to be like street ball. It's going to be a lot of things that you're going to see. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be great to see a lot of dunks and everything. So it's always fun.
I'm excited. I'm definitely excited. Back to the Giants. You had a record last year of 73 and 89, and they were 29th out of 30 in batting rank in MLB. You had Longoria, who didn't have the season he wanted to. He got injured, got hit in the wrist, fractured hand, missed 6 to 8 weeks. You have Brandon Crawford, Brandon Bell. Some guys that aren't in the prime. I mean, maybe in the prime, but slowly getting out of their prime. You throw in Harper in there, or just anything huge. You get them Harper and you get Ellsbury from the Yankees. Just something to boost up that team, because let's face it, what the heck, Madison Bumgarner, got injured last year. What was it, with a dirt bike right before the season?
Yeah.
That screwed them huge.
He came back and still had a good year. Matter of fact, they were talking.
They
about
have good pitching.
Trading him this year, which I was hoping the Yankees would have got him. And there's still good pitchers available. I mean, Keuchel's still sitting out there. It's going to be interesting with these remaining guys that are still out there. Adam Warren, he's another one. And he's a middle reliever that he would be good to have on any team. He's looking for not a long-term deal. He's 31 years old, but he's looking for more than a one-year deal. I'd love to see him come back to the Yankees.
It's just crazy that there's 2 weeks till spring training. Right?
Not even that.
I mean, obviously pitchers and catchers, which is crazy to think about, because think of all the players that need a contract. You think that they'd at least sign something, or somebody would make a move. They thought JT going to the Phillies would open up something, and everyone would start signing. But it's crazy. We're this close to spring training, no one signed yet.
Well, Lindor's out. He's going to be out 7 to 9 weeks.
Yeah, with
he
a
has
calf.
a calf strain. That's going to be interesting to see what happens there.
It happened working out. Like it's just a freak accident, really.
Jose Iglesias is still available. He's only 29. I mean, that's someone that can be picked up just to fill in for him.
With Lindor, though, they're saying he could get in with early April, which is nice. But
Hector
they had
Rodriguez out there.
with the Indians, though. They had Michael Brantley leave. They had Yan Gomes leave. So they're really relying on Francisco Lindor to be like the captain of that team now, really. So they're hoping that he gets back in that lineup soon. 3-time All-Star. He batted .277 last year with 38 home runs, 92 RBIs. Was tied for the league lead with 129 runs. So that's definitely someone huge that they want. Signed a 1-year, $10.5 million contract.
You know who would be a nice pickup for the Yankees if they don't get like a Harper or somebody? Adam Jones.
I thought he retired, though. I thought he retired an Oriole. He had his own ceremony type of thing.
I don't know if he's retired. He's listed on the MLB website as available as a free agent. And he's
Maybe it was like a farewell.
Only 33 years old.
Maybe it was like a farewell because he wasn't going to come back.
That would be a great pickup.
I'd take him.
Eric Young Jr. is still out there. Austin Jackson's still out there. There's a lot of guys out there. That
Eric Young Jr. He's a younger guy, isn't he?
He's 34.
He's fast, right?
Yeah.
Adam Jones. I always liked Adam Jones. Respect to him. I mean, it's hard to take somebody as a Yankees fan because you got so many prospects you want to see shine.
Good old Melky Cabrera is still out there. He's only 34 years old.
Melky Cabrera. Wow.
Carlos Gomez, he's still available. So it's not a big deal if the Yankees don't get Harper.
I mean, some little sign-ins. Homer Bailey signed with Kansas City Royals for a minor league deal. Obviously the invite to spring training.
Nolan Arenado, the Colorado Rockies agreed to a 1-year, $26 million deal to avoid arbitration.
Oh, they agreed to a deal?
1-year deal.
I think personally you need to give him what he wants. That in that case, because the Rockies were nothing. I mean, you had Troy Tulowitzki there for the longest time. He moves on. You got Trevor Story there. You got Arenado. You got Blackman. They want Cargo back. You re-sign Arenado. He is a great ball player, one of the better third basemen in the game. You definitely need that cornerstone in your team if you want them to continue to be good because they've slowly been getting better and better every year. So that's someone you definitely need to re-sign.
Yeah, and I love the fact, too, that Major League Baseball is trying to make a difference in the game. Now they're making it pitchers when they come in, it's a minimum of 3 batters they have to face. Instead of a coach going out there and changing after every out, if they want to late in the innings, it has to pitch at least to 3 batters. And as far as the DH goes, they're not going to be adding that until possibly 2020 or 2022
in the NL
for the National League.
Now I saw him talk about the minimum for relief pitchers. I don't know if that's going to happen this year. I don't know if that's something that they settled on or if they're talking about that.
I think it's just they're still talking about it, but I think it's good. I think it's going to speed the game up.
Yeah, I mean, there's certain situations I don't like when they're trying to speed the game, like the whole clock for the pitchers and everything. I think that was stupid, but I think that this is actually pretty cool. It challenges teams because a lot of times you'll have a coach change a pitcher almost every batter, especially late into the games when you want that lefty versus righty combo. You don't want them. I mean, lefty versus lefty, righty versus righty. You don't want someone hitting a home run. So that makes it interesting, definitely. I kind of like that. Now, as far as no DH, I don't get that.
I think they're trying to push that because of the whole Tanaka thing last year with playing, and he hurt both hamstrings in one game. I think that's why they're really trying to push these new rules.
But I think that they should just pass it. I don't understand what they're waiting for. Why have a difference in the AL and NL? Why have your pitcher go out there when most of the time your pitcher either strikes out or he's just trying to bunt, and half the time they can't even bunt.
Yeah, but it's always been like that. They've always had. I mean, you have some home run hitters that are pitchers.
Yeah, I mean, I give you that. There is sometimes that it is pretty cool when you see Madison Bumgarner go up there and he hits a home run, or Bartolo Colon when he hit his first home run at Petco Park. That is an awesome moment to see. I mean, but half the time they're striking out or just sack bunt.
As I'm looking at the rules now, they're trying to do that 3-batter minimum for pitchers, a universal designated hitter, a 20-second pitch clock, the expansion of the roster to 26 men, which would be good, with a maximum of 12 pitchers. They're talking about lowering the mound. There's
lowering the mound.
Yeah.
Now, I was reading today that everyone in the office and everything, they like to connect with the players first before they make a move, which I actually like that, but lowering the mound. That's just stupid. We've come so far in replay. How do you feel about how we've come so far in replay?
I like it. I like it. I mean, they want to talk about doing it for strikes and balls. I don't agree with that. I think you got to keep the human part of it into the game. But I like it. I mean, there's some calls that are really bad, especially in the playoffs. That the replay, it's a good thing.
It definitely is. Definitely is. I mean, there were times like before we had replay when the Detroit Lions were 1 out away from getting a no-hitter.
Like I don't want to see them expand it any more than what it is.
Not at all.
Not
at all.
Football,
it's
they're
perfect.
Talking about expanding it for penalties. I mean, it's just ridiculous.
As a Saints fan and watching that game, I still don't think I want replays for penalties. They say they use it in Canada Football League though, and it works out great though.
But the problem is it's going to make the game longer. It's going to make everything longer. I mean, I don't know. You're going to have guys throwing flags all over the place.
Yeah. No, I like the replay in MLB, especially since there's there's some crazy, especially at home plate where it really matters. Back in the day, I see that it's like mixed feelings because I like the old school. You just got to rely on what the ump was. If he was sucky, you had to deal with it. But obviously, there's watching baseball as a fan. You love having that replay and watching it and knowing that this is pretty cool that they can overturn this. There's just some cool moments.
Quick score updates for any of you guys that are college basketball fans. Number 2 Duke is holding on right now over number 3 Virginia, 66-58. UNC beat Miami 88-85. Kentucky held on and won. University of Kentucky actually played Mississippi State. That was number 5, and they almost lost. So,
how about Zion Williams?
Yeah. He's gonna be a freak when he comes to the pros. He really is good. He's definitely
a top 5 draft. Top 5 draft easily.
I mean, the thing I don't like is they're already comparing him to LeBron James. I don't like that. Let him have his own identity.
I always say that.
Play.
I wouldn't want somebody to compare me to somebody. I just want to be my own person. But speaking of college sports, you have Kyle Murray, who I don't know if he fully committed to the NFL yet. I feel like he's
committed to the combine.
I know he committed to combine, but I think they're allowing the A's to come up with another offer. I think they're allowing that just to see what the A's. That was smart though, because if you think about it, okay,
he's
the
in
money,
a win-win situation.
Yeah, because now the money the A's offered him, okay, he's gonna get triple that if he gets drafted within the top 3. Yeah. So that was smart telling the A's that he wants more money because it's gonna take him a while to get to the pros. He has to work his way up. I mean, in football, you're in the pros right away.
Yeah, there's no guarantee that he's even going to make it to the A's. I mean, you could be down in low A, single A, double A. The chances of getting up there, it's hard. I mean, you have so many guys competing to get to that final roster, and it's an uphill battle, uphill climb.
Life must be good when you know that you're good at 2 sports. You get drafted. Now, why can't he play both? Why can't he just play both? Is there a new rule that the MLB doesn't allow him to do that?
I don't know if there's a rule as far as that goes because I remember Deion Sanders did it.
Bo Jackson did it.
Yeah.
I mean,
you had several guys that actually played.
He's a good baseball player. I mean, he batted .296 last year. He had what?
But there comes times where you're going to be messing over one of the organizations because I know Deion Sanders, he played for the Atlanta Braves, and he played in a playoff baseball game instead of playing in a football game. So
was it like late early in the season though?
No, it was. I don't remember actually the date, but he picked baseball over the football game, and it caused a little controvery.
As an athlete, I don't know if I could do that. I mean, one sport.
It's tough.
One sport you're already given a lot of time to, especially if you have a family. I mean, now you're doing 2 sports. You're never home.
But Deion Sanders was good.
Was he good at baseball? He was way before my time.
He was really good. He was so fast. He was just good. He's a good hitter. Gave you home runs every now and then.
Because Michael Jordan went to baseball. He wasn't too good.
That's different.
Why is that different? I mean, basketball and football. I mean, he was able to do it somehow. I mean, there's a lot of people that said the catch for tipping signs and everything. But you have Bo Jackson, obviously, who was great at it. But Deion Sanders, what I've seen in highlights, I never watched that. I was too young. He looked pretty good as a ball player.
Yeah, he was. Michigan beat Wisconsin today, 61-52. Number 11 Virginia Tech went down to Clemson.
All right, so just to hop on a different topic here, we talked about Gary Sanchez the last podcast. And I told you that a lot of my buddies, they're a big Gary Sanchez fan, and they had some mixed reviews on what you had to say on that first podcast.
That's fine. That's why it's called Everything Goes. People have the right to say what they want, and we have the right to say what we want. I mean, I've been a diehard Yankee fan for years, and statistically, I stand by what I said yesterday. Gary Sanchez is not he's not right now a solid defensive catcher. He had more pass balls than anyone in the league. He threw out of 28 stolen bases, he only threw out 12 guys. Where I think it was Francisco Cervelli, he threw out 23 or 24 of 34. I mean, there's guys out there that are doing a lot better than him. I'm not saying he's a bad player.
Yeah, no.
I mean, even offensively, the only stat he ranked in the top 15 was strikeouts, and that's not good. I mean, don't get me wrong. I like Gary Sanchez, and I think he could be a great player. But all I was saying was, if the Marlins offered JT for him, I was excited because JT ranks in the top 5 to 10 in every stat.
I'll give you my opinion here. Okay. Do I think the Yankees should trade Gary Sanchez for the right price? Yes. Would I like to see that? No. Obviously, Gary has his defensive problems. Some people have called him,
which can be fixed.
Yeah, yes, absolutely. Has he had his lazy moments where he could have beaten out something? I mean, who hasn't had those moments? I think he has a lot of talent bat-wise. I think he has a lot of time. He's still young. He's still young.
He's battling injury.
He has a cannon of an arm. I think he I think he needs a little discipline. I think he needs to relax. I think he needs some good coaching. He's
the 18 pass balls hurt him.
That's the only problem. That's the only problem I have. That's the only. I don't want to trade him or anything like that. He does definitely have a lot of pass balls, but that's also. I mean, you got to think about it like this too. Okay, you at least have to give him this. Look who's in your bullpen. How many guys throw at least 100 miles an hour? Probably 3 or more. Chad Green, Betances, Chapman. Now, how hard is it if you're sitting inside and Chapman throws a 105 mile an hour pass ball outside? You know, that's hard to react to.
No, I'm sorry, Rudy. There's no stat for framing.
I think that, you know, you give him time, he's going to mature, and I think that he will be a stud. So
Real Muto had 34 guys steal on him. He threw out 21 last year. That's good.
That is good. I mean, you have to give it to him. That's good stats.
Yeah.
You know,
that's all I was saying was I just think as a catcher right now, he has to get better as far as defensively, keeping the ball in front of him, no pass balls. I mean, that reliever we picked up from the Colorado Rockies has a nasty slider.
Oh my! He's the guy that's taking a strike out Babe Ruth.
Gary Sanchez cannot keep that in front of him. You're going to be making a catching change late in games as the relievers come in, because you're going to have Gary Sanchez struggling to keep that ball in front of him, and that's my only pet peeve with him. If he gets better there and he has a better offensive output, I'm on board with it. But I just think, like I have to stand by what I said. I was excited if they would have traded him, and I see him rise up right now as a better DH. Keep him off the field behind the plate until he fixes his problems.
One scary team that I saw the other day, they posted a photo on Instagram. I actually have it right here. So, you know, the Astros, you have Correa, you have Altuve, you have Bregman. Who was that fourth one we just said?
Springer.
You have Springer, if we're saying his name right. That's 4 people that could possibly an MVP. Think about the season they had last year. That's crazy. That's scary to face them. You know, you have 4 guys that could easily hit over 20 home runs. I mean, Alex Bregman was in the home run derby last year.
It's going to be interesting. It's going to be I can't wait for baseball to start. It's going to be interesting. A lot of guys change teams. You know, Boston really hasn't done much. I think the Yankees caught up to Boston.
I mean, Boston doesn't need to do anything. Look at their team. I mean, I'm not going to lie. Playing Boston is a team where I'd be scared to be a pitcher.
But they have to be concerned about Sale. Sale's not as good as he used to be. Price is up
inconsistent.
And down. Price looked great in the playoffs, but
which is rare because usually in the playoffs he sucks.
Hammer him every time they face him. So it's going to be interesting. I think the Yankees.
I hope Pedroia plays this year. I feel bad for him. You know, he's a good player.
Yeah, I just think his time's up too. That injury hurt him.
Yeah,
He'll make a great coach or something maybe one day, but.
You know who I'm intrigued to see? I'm intrigued to see the Reds. You know, they've been picking up a lot of players. They got Puig, which was huge. You also got Matt Kemp in that deal, too. You have Scooter Gennett, who had an amazing year. They could be, I'm not saying playoff team, but a team that's slowly, you're going to see, they're going to be like, oh, that's a huge difference. And then I'm excited to see what Seager does to the Dodgers.
That's going to be
him coming back, because he was so good his rookie year, and then he got injured, and I felt so bad. I'm excited to see how he comes back from that. I hope he's the same. You hate to see someone so young that's so good just have such a huge injury. All right, so moving on, you have the Daytona 500 coming up next Sunday.
My favorite time of the year. It's the Super Bowl of NASCAR racing. This is where my hillbilly comes out because I love NASCAR racing.
I get excited. That's like one of the only races that I really like watching because the track is so big and they go so fast 4 wide. I just love seeing the wrecks. I don't know if that's mean of me to say that I like seeing the wrecks, but
there's nothing like the thrill of 43 cars going 200 miles an hour.
It's insane.
And there's no room between them. They had their first practice today for the Clash, and of course they had an accident, and it knocked out a couple of the big guys.
Those accidents are so awesome.
The Clash is going to be awesome tomorrow because it's just basically a free-for-all. There's no points involved. There's nothing. There's just a bunch of guys going out there and running for money, which is great.
One thing that bothers me is, you have those people. I mean, sometimes it's funny. They're like, oh, it's such an easy sport. All you do is make left turns. Okay, first of all, I honestly, personally don't think I'd have the balls to go to over 200 miles an hour with 3 cars surrounding me, 43 other cars around me. Yeah, that's scary.
I would love to be a passenger in one of those
Just
cars.
A passenger, yeah. I mean, that's not an easy job. I mean, you can't just drive. You have to be skilled to do that.
Absolutely. I mean, it's more than just driving fast and turning left. It really is. These guys, they know exactly when you can bump draft. They know exactly when you can do the things you got to do. And it's going to stink this year because Dale Jr.'s not running in it. That's one of my favorite drivers. And to see him and how he used to run that race, they used to call him the Pied Piper because he always got to the front and everyone followed. That's going to be different. There's got a lot of new names and a lot of new young drivers coming up this year.
Which is nice to see, though, but it's sad to see a lot of the old guys go.
It definitely is. It really is. The nice thing, though, is they changed the rules, which is finally great. Before, if you got caught with something illegal on your card, even if you won, they didn't strip the win from you. Now they're going to actually strip the win from you, give the win to this guy in second place, and they're going to give that guy last place points, which makes it interesting.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, definitely. My favorite driver was Tony Stewart. There was a lot of drama with Tony Stewart, unfortunately. But to see a lot of the young guys come up is cool. I had to pick a new driver, which I picked Austin Dillon last year, and of course, he won, which was a nice feel in this household. Austin Dillon, if you're listening to this podcast, you ever want to come on, Everything Goes, just hit us up. We'll give you a nice little tour of the house. But yeah, it's an amazing. It's cool how that is their Super Bowl. Super Bowl, World Series. That's usually the end, but they open up with that, and also they race their mid-season, but it's not their Super Bowl obviously. But that is such a cool thing how you open up with the biggest race of all.
I love it because there's a lot of history there. There is so much history at Daytona, and for all of you people that have never watched the race, I would just watch that race.
Definitely recommend it.
That race is – don't even watch the whole thing. Just watch the first 10 to 15 laps and then come back a couple hours later and watch the ending.
The ending's the best. When you get to that 20 laps left, everyone's trying to get to the front.
Because everyone is expecting the big one, and the big one is when you have one guy make a move and the rest of them crash.
It's a great time. We expanded a little bit on this podcast today.
Yeah, the first one went pretty well. Obviously, we were nervous, but we had a couple technical difficulties. We're trying to iron these things out.
We hope it's out now.
But as we go, we're going to get this bigger and bigger and bigger, and we're looking to have phone lines where we can actually take calls. We'll have updates that say, hey, we're getting ready to go on the line, and then get you guys to come on.
If you guys want to see the last podcast, we are uploading these to YouTube on Everything Goes T&K. We also share them on our Facebooks. But, we hope you guys enjoy this one and that you come back and listen again. We're going to...
And please, feel free to criticize. Criticize only makes us better.
We were just messing with Rudy. We would love to have him. We'd love to have him on the show. We'd love to, eventually have some people on the show with us. We hope you guys...
I would love to have Rudy's dad on the show because Rudy's dad has so much baseball knowledge. And I miss the days of coaching and working actually with Rudy's dad. Great guy.
I feel like we're talking about, before we end here, we're talking about your coaching days. I feel like we have to bring up the story.
Oh, my coaching days, I could sit here and talk for hours.
That's a different time. We got to tell at least one quick story here is, people always thought, my dad favored me because I played in his team. But we got to talk about the one time, what was that? We were playing a big team, right? I go out there. I probably pitched to 2 batters in the first inning.
Yeah.
You pulled me quick. That was embarrassing.
That's one thing.
There was a lot of people there, man. There was a lot of people there.
Never favored anyone. I treated you all the same because you're all family to me. And at the end of the day, it was about winning. And sometimes you got to make moves that are going to hurt someone's feelings. But at the end of the day, we win and we lose as a team.
One day we'll bring someone on and we'll talk about all our baseball stories because we have some really good baseball stories.
Oh, my God, yeah. But we have a lot of things coming up, a lot of things planned. We're going to have some guys on here talking about skateboarding, the whole 9 yards. And we're going to expand.
So everything goes, whatever goes.
But
we're gonna try and do these at least 3 times a week. It's a little hard sometimes when we both are working, but we definitely hope you guys enjoy it and come back.
Yeah,
and
keep subscribing.
Keep subscribing
and,
to that YouTube
keep
channel.
Viewing them. And
we'll definitely
keep going. We'll keep bringing it, and you guys keep liking it. That's a good thing for all of us.
All right, we hope you guys enjoy, and we'll see you next time on Everything Goes with T and K.